Listen closely now, for the tale I'm about to tell is not for the faint of heart. This is a story of ambition and deceit, of a land scarred by war and consumed by the hunger for power. It is the tale of Jord, a land where blood is the price of loyalty, and betrayal lurks behind every whispered promise. When last we visited Jord, Titan Rom sat on the throne, holding together the fragile unity of Kern and Tarn. But even the strongest hand can falter, and in the shadows, those who would see the throne fall sharpened their blades. Chapter 1: Shadows of Ambition. Praxis Galen Val's chambers in Kern were as cold and unwelcoming as the man himself. The flickering firelight painted jagged shadows across the stone walls, a fitting backdrop for the conversation that was about to take place. Across from him sat Corpus Saldan, a man whose ambition ran nearly as deep as Val's, but lacked the cunning to wield it effectively. Titan Rom is losing his grip, Val began, his voice smooth, calculated. Jord teeters on the edge of chaos. We cannot afford to wait for him to act. Saldan's expression was guarded, his arms folded across his chest. Rom's influence is not so easily dismissed. You speak of chaos, but you're suggesting the very thing that could plunge us into it. Val leaned forward, his eyes glinting like steel. I speak of survival. The Borel grow bolder with each passing day. They've struck Kern, and now Tarn is in their sights. Do you think Rom's dithering will protect us when they come to our gates? Saldane remained silent, his gaze fixed on Val. The truth of the Praxis's words was undeniable, but the path he proposed was fraught with peril. And what is it you propose, Val? Saldane asked finally. Speak plainly. Val's lips curved into a predatory smile. Rom must fall. His death will galvanize the provinces, give them a leader who can command their loyalty. Together, we can take the reins of Jord and shape it into a realm of strength. Saldane's brow furrowed. And who will wear the crown in this realm of strength? You. Val spread his hands in a gesture of feigned humility. A strong hand is needed to guide Jord through these turbulent times. You'll stand at my side, of course, a trusted ally sharing in the spoils of victory. Saldan hesitated, the weight of the proposal settling over him. He was no stranger to ambition, but the thought of turning on the Titan filled him with unease. Think on it, Val said, rising from his chair. But don't take too long. The Borel won't wait for us to make up our minds, and neither will I. As Val left the chamber, his mind churned with schemes within schemes. Saldane would play his part for now, but Val had no intention of sharing power. The throne of Jord would be his, and his alone. Chapter 2: The Borel Strike. The Borel, the exiled clans from the Holy Lands, were no strangers to destruction. Their raids had plagued Kern for years, but now they turned their sights on Tarn. Villages burned, fields were razed, and their war cries echoed across the land. It was clear that these were no mere skirmishes. The Borel sought to destabilize the entire realm. Caius MarTulius, the young Praxis of Tarn, had scarcely had time to adjust to his role before the Borel made their move. He had risen to his father's place after Praxis Troius Martullus was betrayed and killed, a death that still haunted him. Now, the responsibility of protecting Tarn rested squarely on his shoulders. Despite his inexperience, Caius acted swiftly, rallying his forces and preparing for war. Yet even as he focused on defending his people, he couldn't shake the feeling that the Borel's attacks were part of a larger plan, one that he couldn't yet see. Chapter 3: The Trap is Set. Praxis Val wasted no time in advancing his plot. He had spent years cultivating allies and sowing seeds of doubt about Titan Rom's leadership. Now, with the Borel attacks as a convenient distraction, he saw the perfect opportunity to act. He summoned Corpus Saldan to his chambers once more, laying out the final stages of his plan. "The Borel have given us the perfect cover," Val said. "While Jord's attention is focused on the raids, we'll strike at the heart of its power." Saldan nodded, though unease flickered in his eyes. "And how do we ensure the blame does not fall on us?" Val's smile was cold. "Leave that to me. The Borel's savagery provides a convenient scapegoat, and there are others who will bear the brunt of the accusation." What Saldan didn't know was that he was among those others. Val had no intention of sharing his power, and Saldain's usefulness would end the moment Rom fell. Chapter 4. A Night of Shadows. The night of the attack came quickly. As the Borel launched their fiercest raid yet, chaos engulfed Kern and Tarn alike. Fires raged, and the cries of the dying filled the air. Amid the turmoil, Val's assassins made their move. Titan Rom was surrounded by his trusted guards in the Great Hall when the assassins struck. They moved with ruthless precision, cutting down anyone who stood in their way. Rom fought valiantly, but even a Titan is mortal. His blood flowed freely, staining the stones beneath him. At the same time, Caius Martulius led a desperate defense against the Borel. In the chaos, he was separated from his men and captured by the raiders. Bound and beaten, he was dragged away into the night, his fate unknown. By morning, the news spread like wildfire. Titan Rom was dead, and Caius Martulius was presumed to have fallen in the Borel attack. Val wasted no time, seizing control of the narrative. He accused the House Saldani and the House Martulius of conspiring with the Borel to assassinate Rom, painting himself as the savior who would restore order to Jord. Chapter 5. The New Titan. With Rom dead and his enemies discredited, Val declared himself Titan of Jord. The Council, cowed by his power and the chaos engulfing the land, offered little resistance. Andara Kel, Val's queen consort, stood by his side, her face a mask of composure. Yet inside, she was shattered. Andara had loved Caius in secret, their forbidden affair a rare light in her otherwise bleak existence. Now, with Caius gone and Val triumphant, she was trapped in a nightmare from which there seemed no escape. Chapter 6. Shadows of the Future. As Val consolidated his power, the provinces of Jord began to bend to his will. Kern and Tarn, once proud and independent, now served the will of the Titan. Yet beneath the surface, unrest simmered. The Borel remained a threat, and whispers of rebellion began to spread among those who saw through Val's lies. Caius Martulius, though presumed dead, was far from it. Held captive by the Borel, he bided his time, waiting for an opportunity to escape and reclaim his honor. For now, Val ruled supreme. But in Jord, the tides of power are ever shifting, and those who rise to the top often fall the hardest. The story of Jord is far from over.